Hello again. Here's a simple question. When biblical films are released in Britain, what is the reaction to them? Things like Charlton Heston in the Ten Commandments, for example, or the cartoon film Prince of Egypt about Moses. Often, such films are horribly inaccurate, not adhering to the narrative found in the Bible, and sometimes featuring offensive representations of prophets revered by both Christians and Jews. I might mention that images, even photographs and paintings, are prohibited to Orthodox Jews, and they disapprove of them just as much as observant Muslims. Christians too find the distortion of biblical narratives offensive. In the film Prince of Egypt, the voice of God speaks, which is colossally offensive to both Christians and Jews. What happened when the film was released in 1998? Were there crowds of Christians and Jews gathering menacingly outside cinemas? No, of course not. Did members of those religions behave threateningly and warn the owners of cinemas that there would be consequences if the film was not withdrawn? No. What actually happened, of course, was that those Christians and Jews who found the depiction of Moses and the voice of God offensive simply didn't go to the pictures to see the film. It is the same with films which Hindus and Sikhs find a bit tacky. They just don't go and see them. Muslims, though, become angry and accuse people of Islamophobia and racism. They gather a mob and then intimidate those wanting to see the film. They are given a free pass at these bully boy tactics because even the police won't tackle them. In the recent protests about the film based on Muhammad's life, The Lady of Heaven, the police simply allowed hundreds of Muslims to gather around cinemas so that those running them felt unsafe. I have not seen any police officers in the films of these scenes. This is one recent example of how Muslims get away with stuff. Here's an even better example which took place in South Woodford, not far from where I live. A man called Mohammed Zahinga Kabir from Bangladesh worked for Waitrose. He sent his boss a text saying that he had found a knife and didn't know what to do next. Then he sent another text with 4 smiley faces with hearts for eyes asking, "Are you scared?" Then he followed this up with a message asking what time his boss finished work. Now this is all very disturbing and odd, and his boss was alarmed and called the police, who searched the Bengali when he next arrived for work, following which the company sacked him. I don't think any of us can be surprised to hear that. Needless to say, he went to an employment tribunal claiming unfair dismissal, and get this, he was awarded over £47,000 in compensation. The tribunal said that Waitrose should have taken into account how upset Mohammed Zahinga Kabir was at having unintentionally scared his boss by what was meant to be a joke. I cannot imagine that any ordinary white person would have landed such a settlement, and I think that the tribunal only found in his favour because he was a foreign Muslim and they didn't want to appear prejudiced against him, even though he was a weird and menacing nutcase. I give a link to this news story in the description to this video. It seems to me that where Muslims are concerned, people lose their reason and do all that they possibly can to appease them and to avoid upsetting them. Nobody pussyfoots around the members of any other religion in this way. It is only Muslims who seem to have this special status in British society, and I'm puzzled as to why this should be. Muslims get away with far more than other people, and far from Islamophobia being a problem, I think it's the opposite case, that people are a good deal too ready to bow down before them and do as they wish, let them do as they wish. This is why the very first section of the Welsh anti-racism plan I looked at yesterday dealt with Muslims and Islamophobia. I have a suggestion for Muslims living in this country. If you just behave like everybody else and stop making such a fuss and expecting exceptional consideration for your religious beliefs, then you will find things go a lot more smoothly for you, and there won't be any Islamophobia. If there's a film on at the local cinema that you don't like, then simply don't go and see it. Don't try and stop everybody else seeing it as well. If you wish to pray, I do so myself at odd times, then don't make such a song and dance about it. If I wish to pray, I don't have to hurl myself to the ground in public, and if I did, then people would look at me oddly. Why not try fitting into society a bit more? Problem solved. No more Islamophobia.